want to thank Senator Sanders for his cooperation. I went to him about a month ago and I said I'd like to have this hearing on this very day, and he very quickly said yes, and it was going to be a bipartisan meeting. And I hope that sets the stage for the fact that nothing on this subject of Social Security is going to get done if it doesn't happen in a bipartisan way. So I thank you for your cooperation. Social Security is a part of the social fabric of America. Unfortunately, its trust fund for retirement and survivors' benefits will be exhausted in 6 years. Come 2032, seniors see their benefits cut by as much as 22%. To ensure this cut never happens, the entire nation needs to have an honest discussion about Social Security. This will require a president, members of Congress, political candidates, and leaders of senior advocacy group organizations to come clean about the facts with the American people. AARP and other organizations need to stop running commercials saying, "Don't cut," and instead start running ads saying, "Congress should act." Here's just a few Social Security facts. Social Security is facing a funding shortfall, largely due to demographics, because far fewer workers are paying into the Social Security relative to benefit recipients than at any time in the program's history. Secondly, the shortfall is large, very large. The present value of Social Security's unfunded obligations is a staggering $30 trillion. This fiscal hole cannot realistically be plugged simply through tax hikes on the wealthy. That's the Democrats' favorite solution, or by cutting waste, fraud, and abuse, which is the Republicans' favorite solution. Inaction on Social Security is not an option. The only threat to current retirees' benefits is partisan fear-mongering that impedes bipartisan action. And I always say this facetiously, but I want to say there's some truth to it as far as I'm concerned. We get calls in the office almost daily. Don't cut Social Security. I'm not on the phone talking to these constituents, but I'd like to say to them, if you knew how scared members of Congress of both political parties are of the issue of Social Security, you'd be laughing at us instead of calling in and saying, don't cut Social Security. Now, they have the perfect right to do that, and we have to take those positions into consideration because people actually have that fear. During my first term in the United States Senate, Social Security was also facing a funding shortfall. Fortunately, several political leaders of the era rose to the occasion. This included two prominent people, one a Republican, one a Democrat, President Reagan and Democrat Speaker of the House, Tip O'Neill. There are no Ronald Reagans and Tip O'Neills in D.C. today. That's why nothing has happened yet. And maybe they're here, but they haven't popped up yet, except take a lead on this bill or that bill. But to really get it together, it takes top people to do it. Reagan-O'Neill action began with an agreement in 1981 to establish the bipartisan National Commission on Social Security Reform to break a logjam in Congress. Both leaders agreed to refrain from political attacks on the Commission's work to provide space for bipartisan solution form. The Commission's recommendation served as the basis for reform adopted with strong bipartisan support. I think in the United States Senate, there were less than 10 votes against this compromise. In turn, Social Security has made good on all promised benefits for the past 43 years. And I'll bet when Reagan and O'Neill were done, they probably thought they were getting us through the next 20 years. You can see their foresight has gotten us at 43 years at this point and almost 50 years. It's now our turn, this generation of Congresses, to put partisan politics aside to save Social Security. In 1983, Republicans and Democrats will need to sit down, as in 1983, Republicans and Democrats will need to sit down together to consider a wide range of reform options. It's the only way that we'll find a solution that can clear 60 votes to pass the Senate. To foster productive bipartisan discussions, it would be helpful to agree on a set of common sense reform principles. And I don't presume that these are all of them, but these are principles as far as I'm concerned. First, no benefit reductions for current retirees or those near retirement. Second, reforms must prevent senior poverty as well or better than under current law. And third, reforms must be balanced. There is no path to 60 votes for a far-left proposals focused solely on tax hikes. Sooner we get to work, the better. Today's shortfall is more than twice as large as in 1983. The longer we wait to act, the worse the options become. So let's get to work now to save Social Security once and for all, or at least for 50 years like Reagan and O'Neill do. So I thank you again, Senator Sanders, for this cooperation for this hearing, and I look forward to hearing from you and other members, and first our witnesses. So please go ahead.